Hey guys, it's Stephen here. I've just got back from a very, very cold Etihad. I'm still thawing my hands, but it was very much worth it. I was not expecting that tonight. A Phil Foden Premier League start and a comfortable victory in the end. As ever though, before I go too far, I want to say thank you to One Football for for supporting this channel. So make sure you download that link in the description below because it's really good. It's where I get all my Manchester City news from. It's my favourite app by a long, long way. It's free. It's really good. It gives you all these stats that you're seeing down the screen right about now. And it's where I got the news that Phil Foden was playing when I was stood on a tram. I was like, oh my god, Phil Foden's starting today. How good is that? The Stockport in Esteemed. So make sure you download it in the link in the description below. But let's go on to that game. That was nice, wasn't it? We'll go on to the team selection, all that kind of stuff beforehand, because we knew there was going to be lots of changes. Pep Guardiola in his press conference made a big deal about how many changes would be in this game. He's going to use the full strength of his squad, and he really wasn't lying, was he? He genuinely wasn't. Now, Edison started in goal, of course, but it was Stones and Laporte brought back together, as I thought. There was no Mendy at left back. I thought we might see him. He wasn't even in the squad, so we're not sure where Mendy is. The signs are a bit worrying at the moment. Fingers crossed he's going to get back, and we need it, because we need him. We need him after Zinchenko news, which we'll get onto in a bit. But he wasn't there. Zinchenko started the game, and then right back Danilo started in for Kyle Walker, and then in midfield we went with Fernandinho, Kevin De Bruyne and Phil Foden. I was just not expecting that at all. I really was not expecting Phil Foden to come into the team, but I guess in the end you only got to look at his increased stature in the cameos in terms of the games he has played in the cups. He's looked better and better, started scoring goals. And when I watched him play for England under-21s the other night, he was the most accomplished player on the pitch by a long way, even playing alongside the likes of, Maddison, who plays every week in the Premier League. Foden still stood out as a more mature player. So maybe he just proven to Guardiola with his under-21 performances that he was ready. There've been some kind of murmurings of discontent in general, but I think that was mainly just people frustrated around him in terms of his age and all that kind of stuff. I suppose to Foden himself, he seems very level-headed. But yeah, he started it. I wasn't expecting it. We'll go into his performance in a bit, but it was a lovely surprise. Then ahead of them, it was Leroy Sane on the left, which was predictable, but it was good to see him there. Gabriel Jesus obviously came in for the injured Aguero. Hopefully he'll be back very soon. And Riyad Mahrez came back on the right. And contrary to popular belief, Cardiff didn't play them in the 23s. They played their first team. But in general, it was always going to be a relatively... It was meant to be a tricky game, but it wasn't, I guess, in the end. But anyway, we'll go on to the first half. City absolutely came out on fire. Kevin De Bruyne, as he did throughout the game, was absolutely fantastic. He fired in a cross after 30 seconds. Gabriel Jesus couldn't quite get onto the end of it, but that just set the tone for the rest of the game, really. City had loads of little chances, loads of little scrambles, some decent efforts, all that kind of stuff before Kevin De Bruyne scored the most wonderful goal. It was intentional as well. It was definitely intentional. You can see him looking at it. I was sat in the third tier looking down, so it was right below me in that end. I could see De Bruyne. I could just almost see his head look towards that corner. I may be just imagining that because it's De Bruyne's brilliance, tricking me that I did. But that finish was just sublime. It's the kind of thing that only Kevin De Bruyne can do. And he absolutely pulled it off. And it basically just shook the whole ground. Absolutely fantastic stuff. After that, there was loads of little semi-chances. I can't remember everyone had a shot. Mahrez had a couple. Gabriel Jesus was in and about. I think De Bruyne had a couple of pot shots as well. Foden did as well. But eventually, the goal came from Leroy Sane. I think it was Gabriel Jesus who pops it back to him and he drilled it into the bottom corner. A typically Leroy Sane goal. Second half, essentially, we just utterly cruised it. Foden grew to the game a little bit more. The biggest downfall for the second half was obviously Zinchenko going off, and the signs don't look good there. He's going to be out for a while. That didn't really upset our rhythm, though. Danilo came on. He seemed to do pretty well at left back. City kept going forward. There was a lovely little move at one point where Foden got through on goal, and unfortunately the keeper saved it. It would have been a beautiful goal. There was loads of little chances as well. Gabriel Jesus missing a sitter. De Bruyne setting everyone up, but there was so many missed chances. There was another Foden cross that could have led with a goal. I think that was Gabriel Jesus who got on the end of the cross as well with the header. Couldn't quite see from where I was sat. But in general, we created loads. Cardiff did have one moment towards the end where they ran through on goal. Walker mimicking the Van Dijk thing, but slipped, and then Edison came rushing out, made a great save. I like to think, and I thank you to Stefan for this one on Twitter. I'll put it on screen right now. that was intentional. Like he measured it up in his head and knew that Niasse was terrible on his left foot, and no, he didn't. He was just got lucky there. But in general, it was decent defending. But in general, the second half was really, really comfortable. City had loads of chances. We couldn't quite find that third goal. But I don't think it was like the second half against Fulham where I thought we coasted and didn't play very well. I thought in general we controlled the game here. Cardiff offered little to no threat. We had the foot on the ball. We kept probing. We kept creating chances. And if we're going to coast it 2-0 like we did today, kind of at least try and create chances, and we did. So I couldn't really complain that. Individually, I thought Ederson was fantastic. Ederson is a fantastic keeper. It's as simple as that. The best keeper in the league, in my personal opinion. Come out, me United fans. Come out, with Liverpool fans. I don't really care. Ederson is fantastic. He makes big saves when possible. He's this assured presence at the back that sets the tone for how Manchester City play. When you need him, yeah, he's just there for us. Absolutely fantastic. Kyle Walker thought had a pretty good game. He was strong in the tackle. He got forward pretty well. He showed how good defensively he can be at his best. And over the end, he got a little bit of luck there. He tracked back to really well. I thought Danilo, when he came on, did pretty well. Zinchenko, that's the big blow there. Apparently, according to Guardiola, he may be out for a while, so we're going to need Danilo to play well. Mendy, hopefully, he can come back. We know Laporte can play there. He did against Liverpool really well. That's a massive blow. I feel so sorry for Zinchenko. But just when he was about to establish himself, we don't know if he's out for the season, but Guardiola said a long time. That implies that, doesn't it? Fingers crossed we get some positive news somehow. But other than that, I thought Danilo did pretty well when he came on. Zinchenko was doing fine as well. Stones and Laporte looked at ease, really, as you'd expect them to. No real kind of test for them. Fernandinho slotted back into midfield and had a very easy game. Once again, he was just Fernandinho. Some nice passes, some strong tackles. Read the game really well. He carried on as ever. De Bruyne was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Honestly, I didn't think we'd see the best of De Bruyne again this season, but he was just so good. The amount of chances he created, the amount of drive he had as well, cutting back and winning balls in his own area, and then driving past people. He completed so many dribbles tonight as well. Then the goal, just phenomenal. His weighted pass, his finishing. What a player. Kevin De Bruyne back to his very best. That's a massive boost in the arm for our quadruple hopes. So just winning more trophies hopes in general, because De Bruyne is special. And this season, we basically got where we are without him. If we get Kevin De Bruyne back in the form he was tonight, that's just terrible news for our rivals, because he's just genuinely the kind of guy who produces magic out of nothing. And he meant that goal. He bloody definitely meant that goal. A fantastic bit of skill. And then on to the rest of the story, Phil Foden alongside him. What more can be said? I really wasn't expecting him to start. A genuinely pleasant surprise. I got gleeful when I saw the news. So good. Phil Foden is a Manchester City graduate. He's the graduate. He's there now. Jolo's agenda's about never having a Premier League academy starter. It's done now. Phil Foden has ticked that one off. You can't throw that Manchester City anymore. And it's not done to any kind of like token player. It's done to a player full of quality, grace and skill, and someone who could actually be a club legend for a very long time. I thought Foden was very good. Considering the circumstances, I thought it was an excellent performance. I'm not going to say it was a classic individual performance in general, but it was good. It was like you wouldn't know it was David Silva in the team or not on tonight's performance. And in general, that says how good in context it was. His first Premier League start, and he slotted in absolutely perfectly. There was no drop off in performance from Manchester City at all with Phil Foden there. And in general, he showed some parts of his game that he has as well. More than most of our midfielders, he's got an incredible ability to get forward, support the striker. He also has a rasping left foot drive, and he showed that a few times. He's going to score so many goals throughout his career, Phil Foden, because he's just a goal scorer, a genuinely good goal scorer with an incredible work rate. He's so intelligent for a 19-year-old or 18-year-old. Is he 19 now? Foden, how old are you now, mate? Let's have a look. I think he's 19 now. I've forgotten. I've Googled it, but it stopped working. Someone's going to tell me. Oh, he's still 18. He's still, bloody hell. He turns 19 in May. So Phil Foden is still only 18. He started for the probably statistically the best ever team in the Premier League, which is a phenomenal achievement. I'm so happy for him. And I think he's shown now that he's one of this team. He's totally earned his right to be there, and he'll play more games. He'll play loads next season as Phil Foden starts to be prepared to be maybe David Silva's eventual successor. One of our own. Stop putting Iniesta. Ahead of them, Mahrez had an indifferent game. Okay, he worked pretty hard. He looked kind of like frustrated at times. De Bruyne looked frustrated with him as well with some decisions he makes. I'm not going to say he played badly, but it wasn't a great game. Sane, once again, didn't do loads, but scored a wonderful goal. In general, was a kind of threat for Cardiff, but not a classic performance. We didn't need to be. I thought Gabby was genuinely, apart from his finishing, everything else was excellent. His work rate, his link-up play, his dribbling, his passing, his overall game is fantastic, but it's almost like he needs a load of games to get his goals going. He just started scoring when Aguero came back a few months ago. Unfortunately, he's just missed so many sitters. He's got to be a better finisher. Hopefully, he will be a better finisher. I'm putting it down to rustiness and a confidence thing, but his overall game, you can't deny that. It's very, very good. Genuinely very good, the way he brings others into the team. But in general, I am very happy with that. It was worth being very cold for. I've got feeling back in my fingers now. It was cold up there. It just shifted all of a sudden. I'm really happy with that. That was just about as comfortable a game as it could be. It wasn't our most exciting performance. It wasn't our most dominant performance. But at the same time, it was pretty stress-free. We made loads of changes. We rested some key players. No Aguero involved. No Sterling, no Bernardo. And in general, we were totally and utterly fine. How nice is that we can rotate players and generally be comfortable at that. We're back at the top of the league. There's just 6 games left to play now in the Premier League. We're only 1 point clear. It's going to be very, very tight. We've got a 9 better goal difference. Life looks very good, and we just found out tonight that Phil Foden is ready for the first team, and maybe Kevin De Bruyne is back to his very best. It's just a shame about Zinchenko. Guys, I want to know, what did you make of that performance? I'm really happy with that. Sorry the video's a bit later than usual, obviously, just got back. I'm very happy. It was a nice, pleasant surprise, and it was a good night of football for Manchester City Football Club. As ever, I want to say thank you to all these names scrolling down the side of me. These are my Patreons. All these beautiful people here. Look at you all. Beautiful. Every single one of these guys, thank you very much for supporting this channel. They keep it going and keep the lights on and all that kind of stuff. Fingers crossed one day I'll be able to do this full time for you guys. If you want to get involved, patreon.com/Esteemed Company. If not, though, just keep watching these videos and showing all that support that you do every single day. I appreciate you all absolutely loads because you're all the best. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go and relax and chill in a bit.